shock mode. Say what? They're known as Indian Jews. So Indian Jews are officially going to be Israeli Jews by 2030, right?
Yep, yep.
Wow. Has it really been that long that they've been in India? How many years has it been since
Yeah,
they've been?
they came to India much more before Alexander's conquest.
It must.
It is
How
long time
many
ago.
years? How many years would
Uh,
it say?
During the Roman invasion.
Wow, that's actually like a history book, isn't it? So since the times
Yeah,
of the
that was the first
Romans,
invasion, right?
yes, yes, that was the first time they've been there. That's a very long time.
The
That's a
thing
very
is,
long time.
Jews went back to Israel. Whoever were kicked out of Israel, they went back. However, this community, like there are about five tribes of Israel in India. It's not one.
Mm-hmm.
Bani Menashe is just one of the tribes.
Right.
Remaining, there are different Jews in different sectors. I mean, in different areas. They are in Cochin, Gujarat, Mumbai, West Bengal. This specific Jews, they are not. I mean, it is not for the rest of the Jews. That's only for Menashe.
That so you would say that is like that's a part of their tribe. Are they returning due to religious laws or due to things that's a lot of things? I know a lot of things
Yeah,
have been changing in India. No doubt about
because
that.
yeah, Jews are safe in India where Hindus are in majority, but in Northeast where Bane Menashe is hanging out, that is being radicalized. So they want them back.
Oh wow. That is a historical change. That's a real historical change. That so
Mm.
from the times of Babylon to all the way up to Romans, I would say, and they are certainly by 2030 they need to return to Israel because of like the due to what's around, because I know the last stream that we have done, you shared with me like how India is going through like a crisis. It can't seem to figure out what radicalization, why is it not stopping, and when it's investigating from all directions, there still seems
Mhm.
to be no stop to it. So that's making it safe. And then of course you mentioned to me now this historical change in due to what stuff India is going through. So you're saying India cannot afford all that, correct?
No, it's not kind of effort, but it is expensive for India to maintain the Jews.
Why would you say that? That's what I want to study, because this is the first time I'm listening to this. Like, why would you say it's like expensive?
Because Jews can be easily attacked. There are just about 10,000 to 20,000 Jews, right?
How
Uh,
many fans in the room? We are talking about with me and my Indian friend is that today is big news. He told me since the times of the Romans till now, Jews are gonna go home in 2030. That is a big change. What do you tell him? Tell him what we're talking about. We're talking about the times
okay.
of the Romans till now. Jews are
Uh,
officially gonna
During
return
the
home.
Roman invasion, and Jews came to India in 3 to 4 waves. The first wave was the Roman invasion, and that particular community has settled in a place called northeastern part of India, that is Manipur, Mizoram, Nagaland, and all these areas.
So what are
Okay,
all these
here,
Jews called? Like they have a name in India, right? You were telling me on Discord.
Bani Maneshe.
Bani Maneshe Jews. But
Yep.
interesting. But Bani Maneshe Jews. That's very interesting to know. You hear that, guys? Bani Maneshe Jews, and these Jews that he's telling me about, they've been in India since the times of the Romans till now. Now, officially by 2030, these Jews are going to return to Israel. That is a historical change, dude. Keep going. Like seriously, wow, that's a long time.
The problem is that Jews are safer where Hindus are in majority, but the place where they are right now, that is a place of insurgency. Manipur, Mizoram, no, Mizoram, not too much. Manipur, Nagaland, and all these places are there are people walking around with AK-47s,
Right.
and that is a very very hilly area, and it is very hard to track down the terrorists.
Oh
I
wow.
not call them terrorists; they are kind of religious extremists. They are atheist communist army. Then there are Christian terrorists or Christian religious extremists, or you can call them terrorists. But the modus operandi is little different. However, anyways, the beef between um, Cookie tribe and Meitei tribe are leading
Isn't the
to,
cookie tribe part of the that Christian thing that you told me about?
yeah. uh, Christians or specifically Cookie tribe, they have SC/ST status. Okay, that is the minority status. So they have the right to grab anyone's land, but Meitei tribes are general category. They don't have the minority benefits, so they are demanding for the scheduled tribe and scheduled caste status so that they can take care, defend their land. Because cookies are illegally encroaching their land. The entire issue is about the land encroachment.
Land
And this is going
encroachment.
on from more than 50 years. It is not, it has not started yesterday.
I'm showing them a sample from ChatGPT. Here it is. Check out this paragraph, guys. Read it, and I'm gonna leave where we left off. That's a long time, bro. That's a very long time since they have been there. So that's like almost 2,000 years back, right?
Yep.
You're talking about
Or more
2,000
than that.
years.
It's more than 2000 years.
So Netanyahu
They
finally
came to
decided
India before they came to India before Jesus was born.
that is historical news. They've been there before Jesus was born.
Yep.
That is historical news, dude. I'm sorry if I have a Christian on my channel. That is too historical for me. It is.
The Jews landed in India, and after that, a couple of centuries later, Jesus was crucified.
That's a long time in Indian history. Could you imagine that? That since that time period till now, they have been there. Like wow.
Yep, and they were highly protected until now. Right now, these places like Manipur, Mizoram, Nagaland, and all these places, Tripura, these places, they are. There is a new issue, religious extremism or terrorism or change in demography.
Well, why would you
It
say
is
that?
Christian majority area now.
You
Places
see,
specifically. Mhm.
that is so interesting, dude, because this is what people do not like to talk about. They jump all over the place and they don't realize that this is how the world actually carnated, right? There's
Mhm.
areas where Jews used to live. Now, today, you're telling me a very historical fact that now, today, in that exact same area, there's a majority of Christians over there. See that historical change? But that's how the globe is made, isn't it?
Mhm.
Rotates.
And places like Nagaland is 97% Christian. So they can pick up anyone, they can take anyone's life. It's like just a cup of coffee for them.
Wow, my friend. So, like, how do the Jews feel about this? That the government saying that it's time to return to your ancestral homeland. Like, how do you think the Jews of
No,
India feel?
that is what Netanyahu has declared.
No, but
If
I
they
mean,
want to go back, they would have gone back
on
a
his
long time ago.
announcement. That's what I'm saying. On his announcement, how do you think the Jews feel?
You see, Indian Jews, if they wanted to go back, they would have done that long time ago. They are staying in India for a reason because they feel safe around here. And most of the Jews in India are living in communist states. They're not even
I
living
think you
in.
I think you told me that, didn't you, in my Discord, that most of the Jews are living in communist state. Why is that?
I have no clue. They they find themselves pretty happy in those places like Cochin. Kerala is a communist state, and West Bengal. West Bengal, I don't know. It is more communist than Kerala.
Well, that is really interesting. So like it's how they never moved to Israel, but they feel more safe in India. But like after Netanyahu's announcement and like based on what you said that the government's having a hard time to afford stuff, what do you think? I feel like some of them might stay. I
No,
mean,
see, when people have lived in a place more than 3 generations, um, people don't like or don't feel like going to a different place, even though place like Israel, which is very developed, uh, they cannot assimilate into that culture because right now these Jews have an Indian culture
you know,
because 2,000 years is not a small time.
that is so interesting because, like, I met some Pakistani Jews, even if it's like only three or four Pakistani Jews, they speak Urdu. They speak full flesh Urdu, and they do not. They like all of Pakistani culture, food. They like all of Pakistani clothing, all that stuff. And I felt embarrassed around them, not because they're Jewish,
Yeah.
just because I'm a Pakistani Muslim, and they're more Pakistani than me. Like they literally said it to me that this is our house. I'm a Pakistani first, and for me, Pakistan comes first. I'm like, look at you, you
See,
Zindabad.
that is the difference. That is the difference. The Jews have nationalism towards Pakistan, but Pakistanis does not have nationalism towards Pakistan. That is the difference. If you go contact any damn children, Quran first or Pakistan's
No, I'm
constitution
referring
first.
to how they have the spirit. That's how Indian Jews will
Yeah,
have the spirit
that's
for
how it
India.
should be. That's how it should be.
That's their
If I
spirit.
live in a country for a long time, then I will have nationalistic views on that particular country, not like India. Yeah, I'm an Indian.
Yeah,
Of course, I'm
I'm
an
talking
Indian.
about that's their spirit. Like, look, if you were
That's
to
the
meet,
spirit. Yeah.
that's their spirit. Like, if you were to meet an Indian Jew who lived in there in India for a very, very, very long time, who hasn't seen Israel in his entire life, even if it's free to go there anytime it wants, but it has the Indian spirit. So it's gonna speak the Indian language, Hindi, and all the Indian culture, food, the all the Indian vibe being in Indian. That's same for the Pakistani Jews, like they have that spirit. They have that spirit, and you think for a minute, you're one of us, right? And that's
Yeah.
what I felt like when I met him. I'm like, you're one of us, right? Wow. I'm like, I don't want ever Pakistan to harm you. You're special, man. You're too good. That's how I bet India people feel too for the Jews. But that is really something. Imagine if they ever do go to Israel, they're probably not going to leave their Indian vibe. That is 2,000 years old, man. Before the birth of even Jesus, before the birth of Christianity. That's how long they've been there. That is old history. That's a historical change.
And see, there is a proverb: live in the country you love, or love the country you live in.
Yes, it's important to love where you live because then you pick up the culture. I've known a
Yep.
lot of American Israelis, right? And sometimes some blend in, some not. But if you travel outside the world a lot as an American, like you see in, let's say you go to Mexico or you go to some Muslim countries, you can even go to India. But since you get out a lot, you blend in a lot. But if you stay in one place for many, many years and you're not like a fan of traveler, that's basically gonna be who you are in your culture. So all these Jews, when they have like a country like Israel, hang on one second. I might have go on streaming. Go on streaming. So this was my daughter. But like yeah, so all these Jews that are now being like announced that hey, you're welcome to come home, and Netanyahu gave that announcement. I'm
Mhm.
guessing they're probably not going to go because they love India so much.
Mhm.
That's my guess. Just like I heard a Pakistani Jew tell me that Israel offered me to come to Israel, but that Jew didn't want to leave. But I'm like, buddy, that's your house, right? He's like, no, Pakistan, my house. I'm a Pakistani Jew. This is my house. I'm not going over. That's for my safety. That's for my safety if I have no place to go. But I like who I am and I like the place where I live. I make good money. Why would I go? And I feel like that's how the Jews are gonna feel in the next couple of years. Like they don't want to go. The door is open, but they don't want to go.
Mm. True,
Th-
that's true.
That's pretty much what it's gonna be like for India's Jews. Like even though Netanyahu is saying to come home, but they're not gonna want to come. They're gonna continue being Indian Jews in India.
Yeah, because generations of acceptance, it cannot. If you relocate that kind of acceptance, you'll not get it elsewhere.
No, you're not. You're not. Even though they do go to Israel, when this is historical news, guys, you're talking about history from the times of the Romans. That's how long those Jews have been there. If they step into Israel by 2020, 2030, that's it's still not going to feel the same for them because that is just who they are. They're Indian Jews. Leaving India is like leaving who they are. That's the culture they grew up in, that's the language they know, that's the stuff they grew up with, that's the food that they eat. And suddenly going to Israel, blending with the Israeli Jews just because it's your ancestral homeland, it's not going to feel the same to them because in the end they're Indian Jews and that is where they come from.
I'm searching something for you.
Sure, post it
Just
in the
give me a
chat. That
second.
is really historical. Because guys, I say it's important to read about like, a little bit about like for example, I told this to an Iranian too, that don't terminate every single piece of history. Every single piece of history matters. When you just jump onto the Muslims,
Okay, got it.
say, yeah, you can post in the chat. Like, for example, not a lot of people know what is the history of the Iranian Christians. There, people know Iranian Muslims, but not many people look into Iranian Christians. Like, when did their history begin? When did their time period begin? When did they come into the picture after Zoroastrianism, which is a pagan ancestry religion? So this stuff is important. And if that religion is not going to carnate there, like how people just say, like, oh, but that was a Christian country. If Christianity is not going to take birth over there, there wouldn't be any Iranian Christians, right or wrong, buddy? Huh?
Mm.
Right? If Christianity
Yep,
is
yep.
not going to take birth on the land, then how will there be any Christians?
Yeah, see, let me play this video, okay?
Play. You can you share the screen? I'm not sure if you can because you're on YouTube.
So I said, Israel is in my heart, but
Listen to
India
this,
is in my
guys.
blood.
This is
Wow.
an Indian Jew.
Yeah, he says Israel is in my heart and India is in my blood.
That's exactly what the Pakistani Jew told me too. Like a Pakistani, I'm a Pakistani Jew. That is my blood. That is who I am. Israel's in my heart, and Pakistan is my blood. There's a saying,
Mm.
guys, where you take birth, that is your bloodline. So there's many Jews who taken birth away from Israel, that's going to be
Mm.
their bloodline. They're always going to die like in a, rather say, Indian Jew, Pakistani Jew, anybody, they're always going to remain that one part of the line because that is their bloodline. That is where they took birth. No matter what happened to them, that's like telling them that you need to get rid of your bloodline. No, and that's what I feel like when Indian Jews get this announcement like by 2030, right? I feel like they're going to say, for some reason, no, that they don't want to come. They don't want to leave Hindustan, the spirit of India, being an Indian Jew.
Yep, yep.
It's a part of them. It's never going to change. Religion is another thing. When religion says that you have to return to your ancestral homeland, but there's many Jews around the world who, well, Iranian Jews, Indian Jews, Pakistani, 2, 3 Jews, even that is who they are. They're different country Jews. And if they're
Mm.
not going to leave their birth soil country and go to Israel. So Israel always going to remain in their hearts because it's a Jew. But the blood country, yeah, it's not easy to say goodbye to that country where you have the vibe in. And that's how I feel like Jews are going to feel in the next few years.
Yep, yep.
Some might go. I'm not saying they won't. Some might not go. And because
See,
that is who we are.
you ask the same question to Indian Muslims, but yeah, and you will not get the same answer from them. They
No.
will say Quran first, my religion first.
What's funny? I'll tell you a funny story. I went to the food truck, right? And I met two Muslims. They're gonna laugh at me. One was a Pakistani actress, and one was a Indian Muslim sitting right next to me. And I got really confused. I'm like, why aren't you taking a picture with the celebrity? And she's like, oh no, I'm Indian. I'm Indian Muslim. I'm like, what's wrong with taking a celebrity picture? And she's like, if she was Salman Khan, I would get up and take a picture with Salman Khan, not the Pakistani actress Javeri. And I'm just like looking at her funny. I'm looking at her funny. Really now? Is that so? She's like, yes, because I am Indian Muslim. I am not Pakistani Muslim. I choose Salman Khan. And she was sitting right next to me, and I felt like I was sandwiched. I'm like, I'm American Pakistani, and you do not want to say hello to that Pakistani. I'm like, okay, have lunch with me. Have lunch with me. It don't matter. I'm a Muslim. Have lunch with me. And I just like, I'm like, we will enjoy the show. And she's like telling me, no, 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 no picture with them. I am Indian Muslim. I no picture with them. If she is Salman Khan, I stand up. I love Salman Khan because I'm Indian Muslim. Now you think for a minute, but you're Muslim, right? She's like, yeah, but I'm Indian. I'm Indian. I'm not Pakistani Muslim. Same for the Jews. Same for the Jews. That's the same exact story. They're gonna say they're Indian first, or if it's a Pakistani Jew, they're gonna say I'm Pakistani first. That is who I am. That spirit, man. Once you know your country's spirit, you never leave it. You never do. And that's amazing, bro. How much do you want to bet that maybe by like how many do you think will leave after this historical announcement? How many do you think will leave? Do you think most of them leave
Um,
or no?
people, maybe some poor Jews who are exceptionally poor. Indian Jews are rich. Only the poor Jews might leave, or they will have some kind of connection towards India, or yeah, they might accept Jewish citizenship, but it is very difficult for them.
Why would you say that?
Uh, yeah, specifically people in Northeast, they are facing some issues right now. And I agree with them. It is good for them if they want to leave India, or they can choose a different state where they can be safe. But yeah, even moving from one state to the other, there is a huge difference in India. Trust me. If I go to a different state, then they speak a different language. For
Really?
example, Tamil Nadu speaks Tamil, Karnataka speaks Kannada, Maharashtra speaks Marathi, Rajasthani speaks Marwadi. Every state has its own language and their own culture, their own food. We cannot survive. See, what I eat every day, if I go out of my state, I will not get that kind of food. I cannot survive.
Oh wow. Yeah, see, look, I'm gonna post it. Look, guys, this is how old this history is talking about. It's the biggest news of the year that Netanyahu wants like some of the Jews to come home from India, but you're talking about the Jews who lived there since before the birth of Christianity. Look it out. It's right here. I'm posting. This is stuff off like short paragraphs of a chat GPT. People can read in, and then I'll post links after the stream. But that is really deep history, bro. That is too deep.
People who came to Cochin are, I think, they are around 2000 years old. People who came to Maharashtra, they were Polish Jews. They were 70 years old during Hitler's invasion.
And look, it says years ago, possibly or soon after time of the ancient Israelites' exile. So these Jews are old, bro. These are very old Jews in history. No kidding.
Yeah. And most of them were not from Israel. They came from Germany, Poland, and Eastern Europe, etc. Not exactly from Israel. Only this particular community, Bani Menashe, they were from the Israeli community where Romans attacked.
That's
Rest
that's
everyone came from different countries, different parts of the world.
Wow, so it's even before the birth of the, so you're technically telling me, please fix me if I'm wrong. And if you're a Jew listening, please fix me if I'm wrong. So it's even, it's, they're really really old before the times of the Romans and to the point of like the times of the Israelites basically, right?
Hmm.
Times of the ancient Israelites arrival, just like how the Torah instructed. The arrival of the Israelites, that's how old they are before the Romans arrived. That is real history, dude. They're that old. They're even older than, if you look at it, according to sources. That's why I publish these paragraphs. They're even older than Jesus. That's old history, dude. That is very old history, dude. No, I'm not even
Shall I
kidding.
drop a truth bomb on you? Uh, Something
Go ahead.
like
Don't you always do, my dear Hindu brother? Don't you always
uh,
do?
I hope you understand the concept of Saturn, Jupiter, etc. Right? They are names of Greek gods,
That,
right?
yeah, that would go at the time of the pagan days
Yeah.
before the Abrahamic
Uh,
religions arrived.
these guys used to study in Indian universities back then, more than 2000 years ago. They took the knowledge, they learned about astrology, they learned about how Earth moves around the sun. And until then, everyone thought it was a flat Earth and sun would revolve around Earth. After they learned in Indian universities, they went back to their country and then they started this heliocentric theory.
You know
Until
what?
then, it was geocentric.
You know what's interesting? I think it's important to people for people to learn the pagan ancestry religions and their history back at the time so they can understand how did the Abrahamic religions arrived. And I wanted to do a stream about that maybe later on with time when I'm back from Israel.
Mhm.
So you know what's interesting? So it looks like the Judaism, Jews couldn't really spread as much as Christians and Muslims. That's why most of the land conquering was done by Christians and then it was the Muslims, right? So it's a lot of deep digging,
Yeah,
deep global
there is
understanding,
a
a lot of
difference.
just stuff. Yeah.
There is a difference between Jews and Christianity. Uh, Jews are bloodline, Christians are converted.
No, that's what I'm saying. Jews never converted. So like those Jews that converted into Christians when the Christianity arrived, they kind of like spread all
Yep.
over.
Not exactly Jews converted into Christianity. It's a very small portion of Jews being converted into Christianity,
But there
but
were different circles. Let's just put it that way.
yeah,
There were different circles. I'll just say that. There were
most
different
of the
circles.
people who were irreligion, they converted into Christianity,
Like,
who did
look,
not
for
have a
example,
religion.
I'll give you an example. This will make sense. Like I was reading about this. So, like, for example, Jews are a sect of circle, Egyptians are a sect of circle, the Africans are a sect of circle, Asians are a sect of circle, and all these religions kind of spread around the corners all around, right? Except Jews never obeyed these religions. Basically, just conclude it to that. I don't want to get
Hmm.
political with my fans, but just let's just conclude it to that. Hi, Rosie, how you doing? Welcome to the room. We are talking about a historical change that's about to change the globe. You're talking about the Jews who actually are long dies of the Romans living in India before the birth of even Jesus. That is old history. And according to Netanyahu's announcement, 2030, he wants some of those Jews to come to Israel instead of India. And That's what me and him are talking about. That do you really think that those Jews are gonna leave? And I feel like they're not, because they've been there really long time before the birth of even Jesus. That's a long time, dude. It's not easy to suddenly change that history and suddenly leave. It's not. They're old. They're old. They're very very old. They're old from the times of ancient Israelites when they arrived from their Torah. They're old.
Yep, yep.
They're old. I would say about like 3,000 maybe might leave to Israel, but not all of them. I don't think so. Especially the ones that are rich and have a good job, they're going to continue being Indian Jews. I don't think rest of them are ever going to um leave. That's my
Yeah,
estimated
people who are
prediction.
really, really struggling with job opportunities, those will leave. Rest of them will be because they have pretty good business here. They earn pretty well. Why will they?
That's what the
Uh,
Pakistani Jew told me, dude, that he has like a big kosher business in Pakistan, and he has like a really big property, and he's rich over there, so he feels fine, and he's absolutely fine from where he's at, and he's not going to leave Pakistan being a Pakistani Jew. He loves the pakoda and chaat and all those parathe. You know this food too because it's sold in India, all that stuff. He's used to all this food. I'm like, you're a Jew, right? I'm like, he's like, yeah, I'm a Pakistani Jew. And I just looked at him like, I'm a weirdo. He's like, yeah, I'm a Jew. I'm a Pakistani Jew, yeah. That's exactly how the Indian Jews are gonna react. We Hindustani Jew. We Hindustani Jew. We don't wanna leave. We Hindustani Jew.
yeah, just give me a second. I'll send you one more stuff.
Feel free to share with the guys. I encourage you. I feel like history is going to be really, really different by 2030. I feel like some Christians are going to have a different perspective. I feel like some people are going to have a really different perspective by 2030. There's a lot of change. And live chanting apabanu. Oh, hi. I don't know Hindi. I'll let him pronounce it. What he say. But he told me something very interesting, that the where the Jews live now in India, there's a lot of Christians living there. So you see how the world is rotating, guys. Like, I don't see how people not see it. It's rotating a lot. That's pretty historical, that where those Jews live today, there's a lot of Christians there now. That's historical, dude. Do you speak Indonesia, sis? No, but I speak English, but I can't speak Indonesian. What's your question, Vocal Victoria 67? What is your question for me today as my fan? Any specific questions for me? I haven't met any people from Indonesia so far yet. You're my first. Welcome to my channel. I would love to know more Indonesian people. This guy right here, my friend from India, he actually met Indonesian people. He visited Indonesia.
Yep, me too.
Yeah, he visited Indonesia. I haven't seen Indonesia just yet, but I plan to see maybe
Indonesia
later.
is a nice country. They're very, very less radicalization. But yeah, people get to see the mainstream media, so they feel everything is dark, but it is not. We all know it is not dark.
Right. I think
And
the problem is that
yeah,
a lot of people are not understanding history. They keep reversing into time, that like just like how you said that now, as of today, in this society, and by 2030, there's where the Jews live now, there's a lot of Christians, and I feel
yeah, I sent you the link on the Discord channel. Please check. The video is frozen, I guess. Yep, and the link I shared, that is a video during Netanyahu's visit. and they clearly say that Hindus protected us.
So I'm so sure people would like to see for themselves. Guys, check it out. So this was Netanyahu's announcement. You already posted in my server, but post it in the chat box so people can see it and they can read it. So I think maybe Jews might, if the Christians expand in India where they live now, there could be a possibility they might leave. I can't say anything. If the Christians expand in that area, there could be a slight possibility some of them might leave. But that's how the world always worked, didn't it? Yes or no? Someone expands somewhere else, don't it? I mean,
Yep.
like seriously, I mean, I'm a Muslim who's born and raised here, but I feel like I have less opportunities as a Muslim, and the newcomer Muslims have more, which really feels very weird to me. I'm here, I live here, and I feel like I have less opportunities than the newcomers. But that's the
Yeah,
truth, man.
the reason is you will look for the standard pay. The new Muslims who don't have the paper will agree to work even for $5 an hour.
Because it's gonna be them more. Because it's like they're gonna get paid less, but they're gonna be offered more because the
Yeah,
places don't have to
when you
pay them.
reduce your salary, then much more opportunities open up for you.
Join in, guys. Join in. We have talks in here. Join in. But like the thing is, like, you got a point there. I never thought about it like that. So like my resume is going to be more experience, but since they would have to pay me higher, they would rather hire an immigrant because they get to pay it less. Man, what a rip off. That's all I'm going to say. That's a rip off, dude. That's a ripoff, dude. And that's what I feel India's gonna be in the next few years. Like, just like how you told me that the Jews are more educated, they have more experience. But if Christians expand, then it's gonna be like, oh, who is India gonna give the job, the Christian or a Jew? And I feel like by 2030, there's gonna be more Christians over there than Jews, based on what you're telling me. It really feels like that, you know? How many Christians how many Christians community are there now in that area?
That's a Christian majority area.
But okay, so here's the question. How Jews live there longer, right? Just like how you educated me that Jews
Yep,
live there the longest.
yep.
How are the Christians going to expand? Like, did they increase more or did they decrease more? Do you think by 2030 there's going to be more Christians living there, or the Jews currently live
Many
now?
Hindus got converted.
Ah, Hindu conversion. But I feel like don't you feel like by 2030 there's going to be more by then? I feel see like so many conversions all over the place, but yeah.
Yep, yep.
So maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. You're not wrong. Almost 3,000 year old history, and by 2030, if the increase grows, there's a slight possibility that the Jews will be leaving their long time history.
And right now they are buying Hindus. Uh, they pay about 3,000 to $6,000 per person for conversion, and they promise free rice, free that, free this. So many people call them rice balls.
That is really interesting to know, my friend. You see that, guys? Now, people are here in America fighting, going on streets protesting. This is something they will want to hear too. Check out India, that the town where Jews lived since before the birth of even Jesus. Now, this is 2025, and the increase of Christians are growing in that area where Jews have been there before the birth of Jesus. And we predict by 2030 there's going to be more Christians over there. I feel like you're not wrong. You're right. Rather
Yep.
converted Christians or regular
Netanyahu is
Christians.
actually concerned about the people who come under the kind of war zone going on in Manipur. So he is concerned about those people, and he wants to extract those people who are in danger or harm's way. So that's how it works.
okay, we're about to hit 2026, guys, after December. So we are like what, three more years away? Three more years away before 2030. In these 3 years, and Trump is still going to be president because president stays for 4 years. In these 3 years, I guarantee there's going to be expansion. What was there yesterday is certainly not going to be there by 2030. Just like how you told me the majority, like from the times of the Romans before for the birth of Jesus, those Jews have been living there and slowly Christians increase. How much do you want to gamble by 2030? There's going to be more Christians there, and that's going to leave less facility for Jews.
Yep,
We're back to the
that's
early
the
time,
problem.
guys. It's going to be just like early times. Then, when Jews are not going to have that many options, they're going to be forced to go to Israel. And I feel that's going to be like that for India. Here in America, nobody knows because nobody can figure stuff out. How does America want to operate? Here, I can't say anything. When are we going to be by 2030? But for India, for sure. What was there yesterday was the safest Jewish, the biggest community since the times of the Romans before the birth of Christianity. He says by 2030, which is only 3 years away, there's going to be more Christians there. And I guarantee by 2030, there's going to be historical changes in many countries.
Yep, definitely.
Many. What was there yesterday, it's not going to be there today by 2030. And we're going to see it change in front of our eyes. That is really interesting to know. You're talking about a
Hmm.
history that is long there before the birth of Christianity, and the historians predict it is going to be taken over by 2030 by converted Christians or regular Christians. That's historical, dude. And we're gonna see Jews. They would have no choice either but to come, and the ones who are rich enough to survive, they're gonna survive. I feel by
Yeah, the people who are rich enough to survive, they will just move to a different place
yeah.
and establish their business there. So they're good.
Yes,
Only
and I
those
have a
who
feeling
are
by
who don't.
2030, China's gonna announce a religion. Do you want to gamble that? I feel like it is. That's just my guess for China. I feel like by 2030, China is gonna announce its first religion. Who is it saying yes to? And
Yeah,
everybody
China
wants to
has
know
a
that.
religion. It is called atheism.
Huh?
China has a religion. It's called atheism.
I know. He doesn't believe in anything, but I feel like maybe by 2030, it's gonna announce something. And another
And
thing I'm
people who are
guessing,
impacted will be the a group of community who does not have any money or skills. That's why they want to go to Israel and earn that kind of minimum threshold salary.
but that would be considered Israeli technique that China would have to, like, figure out. Because I know China's like a game player. It's not close to any country. It just plays for the money.
Yep. Anyways, um, enjoy. I'll be breaking off now.
It's all about the play. It's all about the play, like the money. And what's another thing I want to predict? I feel by 2030, some countries might not have a religion anymore based on what I'm seeing. How do you feel about that? Do you agree with me on that? I feel like by 2030, some countries might
Um,
not have a religion.
Communism is very popular because it promises equality of financial, I mean, for financial equality. So it is pretty popular. Can't help.
I mean, look at what happening, I mean, it's not being educated the way it's supposed to be. Faith is supposed to be a faith. Instead, everybody's using religion as a business weapon.
Yep.
It's like, I don't know how people cannot. They said, what's funny? I'm thinking to do a stream maybe before I leave to Israel. I was studying the Muslim Brotherhood education, and all I'm gonna say, it blew my hair out. Like, it's bad. Like, when I matched like what it's supposed to be, like, for example, if you were to minus the Muslim Brotherhood education, it clearly teaches like history, like how some West countries helped the Muslim countries gain independence. The Muslim Brotherhood education specifically teaches you how to hate the West and make the Muslims believe that they're the only thing that existed and kind of be like isolated from the world. It's the most weirdest, stupidest education I have ever seen. And I asked my mother-in-law a very important question. This is what you want to know when my won my attention? It was this stupid video where some girl, she was a Muslim, and she stated Columbus was a Muslim, and the America used to belong to the Muslims, and the Native Americans were Muslims who fought the Americas. I'm like, who the hell is this idiot?
Yeah.
I'm like,
Then
okay, no,
Columbus
no,
will
no,
be
no, no,
Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam.
no, no. So I asked my mother-in-law, and I showed her the video, and I'm just like, tell me this is a lie, right? She's like, that girl is an idiot. Even the dumbest of dumbest person knows that Christopher Columbus was a Hispanic. He was not a Muslim, and Muslims didn't fight the Native Americans. Native Americans were Indians. That's when you know, okay, something is not right. And that's when I looked it up. Muslim Brotherhood education is a complete separate education being launched in mosques. And it needs to be terminated because it makes Muslims completely isolated from the world. It's trashy education.
Yep.
Bad.
Anyways, continue. I'll break for today. Okay.
Yes, I'm gonna get ready to close. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed this stream, and I'm gonna close this out. And I hope everybody understand. There's gonna be more stuff to look out for. 2030 is coming, and here's a start. What was yesterday in India is gonna change in the next few years, and apparently, prediction says it is going to belong to Christians. So stay tuned, guys. A lot of historical changes are meant to come. You need to make yourself prepared to write a new history book. Take care, guys.
Bye bye.